Hello everyone. So first I'd like to dedicate this class to my Babi, Sarah Bas Shawl. Today is her yahrzeit, and her neshama should have the highest aliyah possible, and we should all see our loved ones very soon, immediately with the coming of Mashiach. So this class is coming on a very auspicious day. Today is the 28th of Nisan, where it's one of the most powerful discourses of the Lubavitcher Rabbi, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. So we're going to have that in part 2, God willing. So first to begin, and this is what I'm discussing now is based on a video of Rabbi Ginsburgh, my teacher, called The Kabbalistic Promise of Passover, the Month of Nisan, and Joshua. So this is on YouTube, and I'll link to that. Okay. And we're relating it again to all that's going on with the spiritual side and the psychological implications and everything that's going on because of this pandemic. And again, to explain that, to note that I'm not a doctor, and this is the spiritual understanding and meditations behind all that's going on with the divine providence of everything that God is orchestrating at every moment. So we discussed that the whole meditation that we've been, this hemshech, this continuation, the theme, if we could sum it up as one word, would be fertility. Both giving birth to our potential, and also in the context of marriage with children. So, and we discussed that at every moment God is recreating reality. This is also a good thing to keep in mind in terms of a healing meditation, because every moment we're like a new creation. So at every moment God is. We have this healing ability, this new life, new light that it's being born into the world. So on Passover, when we eat the matzah, it integrates within our souls both faith and healing. And we're talking about what it means to integrate, specifically healing, and we're going to be discussing new light integration. What does it mean to weave, to integrate new light? So there's a very interesting statement of the Riddle, and this is again discussed in this video at length. That I'm going to be referencing some of what was discussed there. So again, to clarify, I'm now relating it to our present situation. Rabbi Ginsburgh did not relate it to our present situation, but it's Torah is eternal, as we'll also discuss. So these are eternal truths, and they can be related at every moment in time. So it very much relates to our situation on many different levels. So I hope to explain a bit of that. So the Riddle, the great Kabbalist, Rabbi Yitzchak, came up with the statement that anyone who keeps Passover 100% kosher, will not come to transgression during the year. So what does that mean? So Rabbi Ginsburgh explains on all the different levels. So is it just revealing a truth that this was always true? And if you're revealing a truth, something is either true or not. So if now he's making this statement, then it was true for all time. It always was and will be true. Or is this a new revelation, a new light, a new input, new energy into the world? So with every mitzvah that we do, every divine commandment that we do, we're bringing new energy into the world. So this is, again, we're starting to see a little bit of the correspondence to what we've been discussing. We talked about zinc, about just in general, the light that happens with fertility. In physical fertility, this is the moment that the sperm makes contact with the egg. There's this light reaction. And we discussed that this light reaction is related to chachma, to wisdom, a flash of insight. It's then developed further in bina and understanding, and that's the feminine construct. Chachma is the masculine, and then through consciousness, through das, knowledge, and then through the emotions of the heart. And finally, in malchus, in kingship, in the world itself. And again, this is with the idea that at every moment we have these new flashes of, let's say, a fertility mindset, a spiritual fertility mindset. That at every moment we can give birth to new Torah ideas, and we connect with students. We share that connect with others, to teach others, which is of course an act of kindness. This is the time, even as it's a good opportunity. We should always focus on thinking to ourselves how we can help others. But now we have extra time to do that. Okay. So there's Helem v'Giloi, concealed and hidden. So one explanation is that the truth was concealed and now it's revealed. That the Rizal made the statement that anyone who keeps Passover 100% kosher will not come to sin in the coming year. And first of all, it's understood that is more likely to mean unintentional sin, because we still have free will, and so a surface level understanding. I mean, the initial way we look at it is that it's talking about unintentional sin, as Rabbi Ginsburgh explains. Okay, but then there's this second very important, like the heart of Chassidus, he says, is etzem v'hishpashtus, the essence, and then projecting that essence into reality. And that's a new light. It's something that's new, that's being integrated into the world. Like we talked about matzah, we're digesting it, integrating it into the world. For new faith, by the way, is light, as we discussed. So faith is also like light and healing, new light and healing into the world. So previously we spoke about void, relating to again deciding in our present state, before we re-emerge and re-engage the world, We want it to be a new world of a Mashiach. We want this shift in consciousness. So this state of void in between two somethings, we want that second something to be not the world we left behind, but a better world. So, but the world we left behind was chaos. Everyone running about, every noise, everything, right? And we said that our input was drowned out, maybe at times, or a lot, during all that hustle and bustle. So now we have this time when we're able to, everything's quiet, all the streets are pretty much empty, and so forth. And now we want to see what type of world do we want to emerge into again. So we discussed that. So now this topic tonight is on chaos, on ordering chaos. Because chaos without order is just, we don't want anarchy, right? We pray that there should be stable governments, that there shouldn't be anarchy. So we're all for proper forms of order, especially that we don't want to be juggling and have everything fall down, right? So everything has a process, and the whole Seder night is called Seder. It's a Seder means, that's the word, order. That everything has its Seder to it, has its order. So this relates to Yesod, to the Sphira, the divine channel of Yesod, which we said it relates to, corresponds to Joseph. And in the superconscious, we said that the superconscious is the lights of chaos, which we have to bring it down into order. That's the topic tonight. Now, the lights of chaos we have this faith that we want to bring our faith down, like to make dreams reality, which is also, we discussed last time, in relation to the Sphira, the divine channel of Yesod, of foundation, of making dreams reality is a Joseph concept. So now we're talking about from the superconscious, from revealing new light, from the Etzem, from the essence of godliness, down into the world. Or Chadash, new light. So again, where do we see this with Joseph? So it's his overcoming trials. That through overcoming the trial of being seduced by Potiphar's wife, so he's again this empowering, this overcoming temptation. This is all explained according to what the Rizal is saying. So before I go forward with Joseph, so if we're saying that the Rizal, by saying that if we keep Passover 100% kosher, the world will not come to sin. So if we're talking about etzem v'hishpashtus, about essence, and then projecting that new essence into reality, this new light into reality, then it wasn't there before, and now it's there. It's now being introduced, integrated into reality. So then we're saying something changed, and now it's specifically now it even relates to an intentional sin, but we won't come to transgress an intentional sin. So there still is free will. So as Rabbi Ginsburgh explains, it's someone who's borderline. It gives an extra boost, an extra extra shot to not commit it, God forbid, a transgression. And how did the Arizal, what changed in the world? So the way his ability to say this, as explains Rabbi Ginsburgh, was the extra stringencies that the Jewish people were taking on themselves in the observance of Pesach. Both in terms of kinyos, of not eating legumes for Ashkenaz, which is then the second thing is called shiroyim, which is wetting to wet matzah, because perhaps there's a little bit of uncooked flour, and all of these things are above logic. They're called shtus kedusha, holy folly. But nevertheless, legume is not bread, right? So nevertheless, this was taken on, at least again by the Ashkenaz by Ashkenazim, and this enabled that through this holy folly, then the Rizal was then able to say such a thing, that if you keep Passover 100%, then not come to sin. So this is an extra boost, giving an extra boost because of the Risa de la Sata, because of the actions, the relative from below of the Jewish people becoming stricter. So then they're able to. So then he was able to give an extra boost for someone, again, even for an intentional, but someone who is borderline, meaning that God forbid a person can still sin, but someone who's borderline, this is an extra push not to do it, to withstand the test. So Joseph himself received a booster. What happened is that during the moment where he was borderline, whether to run away or not, the countenance of his father Jacob appeared to him. And all of the countenance of his father gave him the power, like a shot in the arm, a strength to withstand the trial. So it's reinforcing a person's own power, own abilities. So originally we say that are we. So originally, the way to look at the statement of the Rizal is that it's important to connect ourselves to a tzaddik, have iskash for us to connect to a tzaddik, to the power of a tzaddik, and because the Rizal was totally given over to revealing the inner dimensions of the Torah, a new light into the world, and because of all of that, then by connecting to the Rizal, so then we're able to overcome the test, just like Joseph saw the countenance of his father Jacob. But now, what's happening now? So every day it feels like we're being stretched. This is Chavlei Mashiach, birth pangs of Mashiach, right? So we say this is a fertility mindset, birthing process for this new consciousness, which will reach a tipping point. We'll just open our eyes and it'll be a new world with Mashiach and the redemption. But until that point, what's going on is really we sense this every moment of just something is being stretched, new muscles that we didn't know we had. Something is going on. It's this new effort that's required at every moment, and in the way that it's explained is that, well, it's coming from within, right? What is it like? is a tzaddik is a person who serves God maximally, right? And lives their full potential, actualizes their potential. So what is God saying? That before, in previous generations, okay, it's connect to the Riddle, and then you'll get through it. Or for Joseph to see the countenance of his father, and it's all important to connect with tzaddik, right? We're talking about Mashiach. Mashiach is the tzaddik of the generation, but at the same time, we're called a nation of tzaddikim. So God wants us to bring that out within ourselves as well. So yes, we have a Mashiach of the generation. I mean, the tzaddik of the generation who will be the Mashiach of the generation, and hopefully the potential Mashiach, and then hopefully it will be a Mashiach coming and taking us out of exile. But at every moment we have this new light. And so what is, for instance, taking zinc or any type of treatment, no matter how simple it seems, it's a reminder of this concept. Now, we're also talking about the unification between the spiritual and the physical. So it doesn't mean that it's just a placebo. Placebo is also an interesting concept, right? Because it's just sugar or whatever. But now we're saying, let's say that the remedy it does indeed have been proven to have results. So everything below has its parallel above. So we've been discussing about that, about how, for instance, again, the zinc reaction is like a new light reaction, a fertility reaction, and that's all that we've been discussing. This whole meditation is that very thing. So there's parallels in this. We like to see parallels between the spiritual and the physical, because it's the higher waters of the divine wisdom and the lower waters of natural sciences should, in the language of the Zohar, kiss. There's a unification between the two. So how does the light of the sun radiate? Is through fusion. What's fusion? The process or result of joining two or more things together to form a single entity. So when we talk about integrating more light into reality, we're talking about the unification of these divine wisdom, the higher waters of the divine wisdom, of the spiritual, and the physical realm, the unification of the two, and in order that there should be united, the yichud, the unification between the two. Refuas hanefesh, refuas haguf, the healing of the soul and the healing of the body, is explained in Body, Mind, and Soul by Rabbi Ginsburgh. The highest form of healing is Torah learning. We're not always at that level, so then we go to seek out other treatments, and that's also important. But also should be with that awareness that the reason we're teaching Torah and we're discussing all of this is not just because it's. I mean, we're doing it. It should be practical. It should come down. But at the same time, we have to prepare on all accounts and listen to the doctors and so forth. So we can't just do one instead of doing the other. But okay, I think that's understood. Now, to overcome temptation, so we talked about the projection of lunar light into reality. So when the end result is the ability to overcome temptation, the temptation itself. And we saw that with the test of Joseph. Unfortunately, King David, which relates to Malchus, which is the ability to overcome the temptation is Malchus' kingship. So unfortunately, with David, King David and Bathsheba, he was not able to overcome that test, although he fully repented afterwards and fully did teshuvah afterwards. But that's coming down all the way. We stand up to the test, and through the ability through overcoming that test. So then we're bringing the new light of ourselves. We're revealing the new light and potential and potency and power in our own soul to ourselves. Like, wow, I withstood that test. It's really good. I feel really good about that. Now here's the next moment to it's like every moment to really see one's potential. Okay. So now this is I'm going to read a little bit from 137, the Riddle of Creation, also by Rabbi Ginsburgh, pages 86 and 87. So this in one of his most powerful discourses, again this was a discourse by the Lubavitcher Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson that was delivered on the 28th of Nisan, which is today. He said that in order to bring Mashiach, we must energize the chaotic lights, but contain them in rectified vessels. It is our responsibility to reach up to harness those infinite energies. We must contain them in a system of mature order of the highest degree. Mashiach's unique task is to tap into the lights of chaos and draw them into the world without shattering the vessels. So shattering the vessels is a way of saying that a person is bringing too much light too fast, and it's not tempered. It's explained like Rotsa V'Shov, run and return. The person, as much as they are trying to bring Mashiach, they also need to do it in a considered and paced out way. Okay. As mentioned, the factor that determines whether or not chaos will transform into order is time. So this is what we discussed, that every day now is we're weaving this new light, and we're awakening our own potential, each one of us, and seeing what the goodness within us, that expressing that, reaching out to others. The more time that is available for the process, the more likely it is that the system will regulate into order. Okay. So this section, this is the end of chapter 2. This section concludes that the archetypal soul who successfully contained chaotic lights in rectified vessels was the prophet Elisha. He achieved this through the power of his prayer. So during this time, it's important to use this time in prayer and in repentance and turning to God in humility and sincere service. And so let's end off with just discussing again this tandem between chaos and void. The seed of order that lies in the void can only flourish when human intervention is absent. This idea is expressed in the verse, "Cast your burden on Havaya, on God, and he will bear you." So we discussed in another video that this time is a time of losasa, of not doing. Usually we think of in terms of positive commandments. There's 248 positive commandments of all the things that we're expected to do in the service of God. Now we're told that stay in place. It's like a time of not doing. There's still a lot of positive things that we can do, but it's within this state of not doing. So we said that previously the world was chaotic, these chaotic lights called modern society, and now there's this silent state, this void, and now we want to bring order. We want to come out with a new order, a new spontaneous order, which will be with the coming of Mashiach and the redemption. So how do we get from one to the next? Well, it's up to God. We have to cast our burden onto God. And know that our good efforts will pay off. If our efforts are wholehearted, sincere, and we truly are doing our best and our darnest at every moment, again, to actualize our potential to withstand tests. So then this is the new light within ourselves that we're revealing. Whether we're taking zinc or not, this is we're infusing within our consciousness, within our being, and within the created realm, a new lights, which will result collectively in the awakening of our collective consciousness to the revelation of the new Torah of Mashiach. All right. So thank you so much, and we should all be healed immediately. We should all leave from our respective places and all go to Jerusalem immediately with Mashiach. Thank you.